Go live on Instagram too. Make sure everyone's here. Hi. Okay, so today is Sunday Morning Coffee with Karen, episode 31. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Marissa. Hi, Dan. Hi, Lauren. Hi, everyone on social media land. Christina. A little echo. Okay, let's see. I have like a legitimate mic now, so is that better? Better? Let me know if you can hear me better, if it's echoing worse or better. I don't want to do the whole thing and find out it was like reverbing the whole time. Yes, cheers, Andrew. Cheers to you, sir. Hold it higher. Sound good. Okay, cool. I know it's 3 a.m. for you, Chase. I freaking love it. Yes, I got Shiva and Durga Ma. They are my favorite if you've been here before. So I know I have so many new fans in the house. So shout out to everyone who has been seeing the dragon magic and have felt that call to step forward as leaders in this new golden age. We have arrived. I know that it doesn't seem like it. I know it seems like we're still in the middle of some crazy hell. And I'm sure that there are shadow forces that are trying to do what they can. But at this point, we know that it's onward, upwards, towards ascension, towards amazingness. There will still be sacrifices made. There still will be loved ones lost. I am not trying to say that that will not happen, but we can have such amazing gratitude for those who are giving their human life right now so that the rest of the world can wake the F up, right? Give me some hearts and some likes if you hear me on that one. So, today's episode is all about this term that came up about two weeks ago, I want to say now, during Sunday Morning Coffee with Karen, where I said, I'm not a lifeboat out there trying to save you guys in this crazy storm. I've been here. I've been saying the same things since 2012. If not beforehand, really my whole life. Hey, Melissa, Amy, everyone. Hanai, hi. I've been saying the same thing since 2012. I have literally been talking about ending the Fed Reserve, ending the fiat currency, ending the crony capitalism, ending the amount of all of the horrible shadows, essentially, that really only exist because for the last 100 years or so, we have, in America at least, and really all over the world, become an oligarchy. We allow a very elite few of people into power positions, into government positions, into the highest positions in industries that are going to be lobbying the government. And the citizens just kind of sit around and just have to take it, right? We just get it like, here you go, here's another thing that happens. And what I've noticed is so many people are constantly just jumping from lifeboat to lifeboat to lifeboat. And not no one. Here I am standing as a lighthouse on the cliff, on the edge of this new world, this new expansion, this new way of living based in peace, not war, love, not fear, unity, not separation, respect, not judgment. And I'm standing here watching all of these leaders still out in the ocean. They're still out in the ocean. They're still dealing with the tumultuous storms. They're still going up and down. They're letting the waves rock them back and forth. There's no consistency. There's no stability. There's no reassurance. Any maintenance that's going on is all to fill the holes in their boat, not to maintain the lighthouse and make sure that the light's still going on. So as this analogy, this metaphor kept coming up over and over and over, I knew that I really needed to do an entire live stream just on this analogy. because it's happening every day. Every day I'm seeing more and more leaders capsizing in their message. They are collapsing. They're completely changing their wording. They're completely changing everything. And this looks, how does that look in your own life? So we're going to do a whole lot of that micro macro stuff that that I love to do, where we look in very like personally, one-on-one, and then we expand that out and how that can affect your business, your life, your mission. I say business, but honestly, if your business is to run a nonprofit, applies to you. If your business is to run your home and to be the best freaking stay-at-home parent that you can be right now, then that's what it is. It's that primary role of leadership. So, how can you be the leader for yourself? And then how can you lead in your family? And then how can you lead out in your business, your community, and then the world? It's all the same. It's just layers of the exact same tools. Okay. That's why I love working with the people that I do, because I really do have stay-at-home moms that really just want to learn how to be the best mom they can be. And I also have CEOs of Fortune 500 companies coming to me to be the best CEO they can be. And I have people running for office trying to be the best governor or best senator or best parliament member that they can be. And every leadership is such an important skill. And it's one that we have been told is not important, especially for women. Especially, we have been told that we are bossy bitches instead of strong leaders, right? So I love Taylor Swift's song, The Man. Because if I was the man, I'd be the man, okay? But because I'm a woman, I have all this other shit that I have to fight. So yeah, they are drowning. So let's break down what we're going to talk about. The first thing we're going to talk about is, what is your purpose? We're going to go over what is it that you are maintaining in your life. And we're talking about how can you handle blame? Because as a lighthouse, if someone crashes on the rocks, they tend to blame the lighthouse instead of taking responsibility for themselves. Okay, they tend to say, well, the light bulb was out, or it wasn't bright enough, or you weren't giving me clear signals. A lighthouse has one job. It stands on the cliff and it turns around and around and around. Hi, everyone on Instagram. I see you. You're just really little, so I can't read who you are. Spin around and around and around. Oh, hey, Courtney, in the EK group. Yes, existential kinks, one of my new favorite topics because it's life-changing. Seriously, guys, if you haven't gotten the book yet, just go get it. It's Existential Kink by Carolyn Elliott, and she's amazing. I am in her group, Wealth for Leaders, so that I can continue to teach you guys leadership with magic. Okay, we need a new kind of leader. I'm sure a lot of my friends, a lot of my clients, sorry, not my friends, they are my friends. My clients are my friends. I freaking love my clients. Courtney, get the book. Yes, get the book. Okay. We need a new kind of leader. A lot of people I know have read the book Dare to Lead by Brené Brown, which is an amazing, amazing, amazing book to come at it from a stance of blame and shame and guilt, and how we can step up. So if you really need a very baseline leadership 101 book, yes, absolutely. Dare to Lead is an amazing, amazing book. Yes, the famous book. Chase, go freaking buy it already. Dare to Lead is so good because she really does break down the top 10 issues that her research team has found. Brené Brown is also a psychologist, okay, or not a psychologist, but she works on the psychology, right? She's a very scientific-based person who does all of her work based in grounded theory, taking all these different stories, finding all the different things in between. That is a great book for people who are leading, who don't know that they have magic, okay, who don't know that they are powerful witches and wizards and priestesses and oracles and shamans. That's where I come in, okay? I bring you across that bridge from the metaphysical land into the public service land. Again, public service can mean that you are the board president of a nonprofit organization. You are still serving in a very public way. But yes, I won't lie, I love working with elected officials. I have such intense joy and pleasure working inside of the government. It's like being a secret agent, right? Being like a fucking spy and getting in behind the front lines and really infiltrating and putting people into city councils and getting mayors elected in tiny little towns and having all these people spread out throughout the whole world in really fucking powerful positions. And slowly over the next 2, 4, 8, 10 years, we're going to be the ones fully in charge, but we'll have started now. Okay, so let's go back to what's your purpose. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit compare and contrast right now. Thank you so much, everyone. Make sure you're sharing this out. Make sure you're giving me the loves. I know I can see them right there, but the more people that hear this message, the better is how I feel, especially this one. This one's, oh, it's so good. Okay, so what is your purpose? Let's talk about the purpose of a lighthouse versus a lifeboat, shall we? So a lifeboat is a disaster method, right? Like the Titanic is the best example, right? They built this Titanic, they built this unsinkable ship, an unsinkable America, okay, an unsinkable economy, an unsinkable globe. We're all stuck inside our houses now. We're all in our cabins. And on the Titanic, they didn't make enough lifeboats. They didn't put enough lifeboats on, okay? So the lifeboats are already only there in case of an emergency, right? They're not really there in case you super need them, right? Versus a lighthouse, you always need a lighthouse, okay? You always need that lighthouse on the edge of the cliff to let you know that there are rocks and that there is a safer way to come into the harbor, yeah? Lifeboats, they're sometimes useful, right? They're sometimes useful. Sometimes you need them. So how are businesses or leaders right now being sometimes useful? Well, it's sometimes useful to have to put out a new course on how to do an online business, okay? It's sometimes useful for you to tell someone that they need a complete overhaul of everything that they are, okay? But it's not sustainable if you keep telling people what's wrong with them. And that's what lifeboats do. Something is wrong, okay? The whole energy of a lifeboat. And I'm sure that while I'm speaking right now, you're already thinking about new business leaders that not new business, but business leaders that you've seen, leaders that you've seen, other people that are coming from this, oh shit, something broke, we have to fix it attitude. Versus many other people who are like, oh, yep, kind of saw this coming. If you need safe passage, I can't come to you, but I'm here and this is the way you get to me. Okay, so lifeboats are always coming to you. They're coming at you. They're coming at you. They're filling your inbox. They're DMing you. They're sending all those group requests. They're constantly, when they say they're checking up on you, it's really just to upsell you. They're always trying to promote a new product that is going to save you. Okay, lifeboat people are savior people. They're the ones who, they claim that they're teaching you how to be sovereign, but only if you follow their process, only if you do as they say. And the other thing about lifeboats, let's go back to the Titanic, they pick and choose who's on them, right? Women and children first. Then some guy can like pay the back pocket and maybe get on, like put a little bonnet on. Lighthouses, someone who's a lighthouse, they're always relevant. Their message stands the test of time. Their message isn't changing or moving based on what's going on out there in the ocean. They're not there to save you. Plenty of boats still wash up and hit the rocks because someone on the boat wasn't paying attention, right? But the lighthouse still stands. It still is there. It's still witnessing the crashes. It's still witnessing the drowning, but there's nothing, it can't get up and go get you. You have to take your own initiative. Yeah, my message hasn't, see, perfect. Your message hasn't changed. We are here, we are here, we are here. I had a Dr. Seuss moment a couple of weeks ago that Chase was here for. Yeah, it's still the same. And yet for so many people, I'm sure, is it Renee? Tell me if I'm saying your name right. A lot of people have come to me, they're brand new. They don't know who I am. They have never heard of me. Like, they've never found my message before. Maybe they have, but they haven't heard it the same way. But if you go and you look at what I was talking about last year, what I was talking about in 2016, what I was talking about in 2012, it's been consistent when it comes to what I expect of our government. Now, my personal life has exponentially changed. Who I was in 2016 is not in any way who I am right now. I was a broken lighthouse before. I was someone screaming. I wasn't even the lighthouse. I was like the crazy person standing in front of a broken lighthouse. This way, hey, come over here. It's over this way. You want to come this way? Okay, come over here. It didn't really work. It took me recognizing what I needed to do. I needed to step out of my human. I needed to step out of that scared little girl and put on my work boots and go fix the fucking lighthouse. Go get it all painted up nice and whitewashed. Make sure that the windows were all clean. Make sure there's new lamps, new lights in there. Make sure that the spinny thing works. That's what I've been doing when I walk my clients through. It's not the lifeboat of, here, come into my boat. My boat's the only way to get to shore. It's, I have a lot of inner work to do. There's a lot of things that I need to do to be a beacon for other people. And if I don't take care of myself first, all these people are going to get into my boat. We're going to capsize. It's not helping anyone if we're all drowning, right? Inside to the outside. Exactly. So that personal responsibility is something that lifeboat people don't take. They're really good blamers. And we're going to get to that in a second. So the first thing is, what is your purpose? When you are writing a post, when you are coming up with a new program, when you are about to pitch to get a donor, when you are writing to your governor, when you are thinking about filing for governor, what is the purpose? What is your underlying purpose? Is your purpose to go out and save the world? Are you trying to be Superman, out trying to save that school bus of kids? That's a good way to burn out real fast. Okay, you are going to burn up, you're going to burn out, and you're going to capsize. If you have a savior mentality that I'm out here to save you, you're never going to be able to save enough people. Yeah, what is my why? Very much. If you haven't read Start With Why by Simon Sinek, I would really suggest that book. It's really awesome. It's awesome. I read that book before I even had a business. And then I read it again through the lens of having a business, and it's kind of why I ended up going into politics. And let me tell you, I thought that I used to get shade before for just being like a badass magician who was very sensual and turned in and embodied as a mom. The amount of shade and blame and toxicity that's thrown at me now that I openly talk about coaching people wanting to become elected officials is exponentially bigger. Like exponentially. There's a reason why so many people don't want to go into politics, because there's so much fear around what people are going to think of them. And that's why lifeboat people, let's go back to the lifeboats, they pick and choose who can get into the lifeboat. They're only going to put people in their lifeboat that agree with them. You're going to get an application to work with them, and they get to decide whether you live or die. It's a power trip. Okay. So the way you can tell if someone is a lifeboat person is they use certain words. Those are my followers. Those are my clients. That's my process. Mine. They're like, mine. All I can hear is the freaking seagulls from Finding Nemo right now. It's been on my heart to be in politics. Also, yes, Renee, yes. Yeah, more people want to. We talk about being in politics, but then like there's a lot, you have to be able to be in you, like who you are. And you need to know who you are, what you are, and how you serve. I know who I am. I am Karen Terrace. I know what I am. I am a Dragon Empress lighthouse. I know how I serve by calling in and being a beacon of light of those who are willing to be the political leaders of the future. I say those things to myself over and over and over all day, especially when I have someone messaging me, telling me how I am doing shadow magic on their followers. Magic is all about intention. So if I set an intention that I prefer to do my marketing by being invited into people's dreams, that's the only thing that's going to happen. A very innocent intention that I have 3 children who, even when all this crazy isn't happening, I homeschool. While I run 2 businesses from my home, while I also take care of my husband and my house and do all the other things that badass suburban housewives do. My intention in marketing in dream state is because in waking state, I don't have time to market. But then people message me and tell me that I'm trying to inception them, that I need to stay the fuck out of their dreams, that I need to leave them alone, because they don't understand that the only way that I can get into their dreams is if I was invited, because that's the intention I set when I set the intention and cast the spell of being found via dreams. Most of my clients I'm currently working with found me after they had a dream about a dragon. They're like, oh, very interesting. And I tell them about my process of how I do most of my marketing in the dream state using magic and using intention and using the astral plane as an extra source. And, you know, some people join me and other people literally tell me, you are a black magic witch. You're casting shadow magic on my followers. You need to back off with your shadow magic. Shadow magic is very specifically set with the intention to harm. I have to put that out there right now because I don't know if that specific person is going to get this shared to. Do you know what I mean by with politics? You have to be, people tend to be very careful. They only say what they need to get elected instead of saying what is actually on their hearts. A current politician that I would say is a lighthouse, even though I don't agree with his policies at all. I have to put that out there before I say his name. Please, for the love of God, hear me now. I don't agree with any of his policies for the most part. But someone who is a lighthouse in politics right now is Bernie Sanders. That man's message has not changed since the 1970s. Okay? I don't support Bernie Sanders. I'm not a socialist in any way. But if you go back and you look at his voting record, if you go back and look at speeches that he gave, if you go back and look at interviews that he was giving, he has not wavered. He has not changed. Now go look at someone else like, I don't know, Mitt Romney. It's the person who comes to mind, mostly because he's my senator. And 2012 was a rough year for me. Flip-flopper, right? That's what they called Mitt. The flip-flopper. He was just always saying what he needed to say to get your attention. That is a lifeboat person. If you can scroll through someone's page and they've rebranded multiple times in the last year, get the fuck away from that person. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they are, and they definitely have no clue how they serve at all. Because the only person they're trying to serve is themselves. Lifeboat people are self-service people. I decide who's in my lifeboat. I decide who lives or dies. I decide whether or not you're going to survive. I'm going to save you or I'm not. My boat is the best boat. But the maintenance that you have to do on a boat that's currently in the water is always catastrophe, right? It's always filling in the different holes in the bottom of the boat. It's always making sure there's not too many people in the boat. Or I did a post yesterday all about don't rock the boat, right? Because all of society, for the most part, except for those of us, again, who for years, I'm talking, I got 60-year-old moms grandmas who were hippies literally burning their bras in the 60s. They are lighthouse people. Okay. I'm going to look at my comments. I have so many comments today. I love it. I love when there's a lot of engagement, but then I don't want to get lost. So let's take a sacred pause and read the comments. Good on you. So strong. I invite you. I do the same. Do it all the time. Lucid dreaming. Yes. You found me years after my first ever drawing. Yep. Dragons. Bring it on. It's in my heart to lead and be the voice. Yes. I approved your friend request because of the dragons. That's so funny. Dragons come in. I love dragons. Let's just take a pause for that for a second, because dragon energy is pure, innocent, loving energy. So again, anyone who's accusing me or any of my clients of using dark magic, shadow magic, black magic is because they still think that dragons are evil. They think that dragons are hoarders. They think that dragons are meant to be destroyers, when dragons destroy the old so that there can be more new, right? What's the best fertilizer on the planet if you're a farmer? If there's a lot of root rot, if you have a whole field filled with diseased plants, they don't just till it. They go through and they take a freaking blowtorch to the entire field. Make sure that every little inch of that entire field has been blasted down, because ash is an amazing, amazing fertilizer for the soil. Amazing. Dragons also only don't breathe fire. There's water dragons, there's earth dragons, there's air dragons, there's earth and air dragons, there's water and air dragons. Like air water dragons, that's like that bubbly, like think about popping a bottle of champagne. That's the energy of an air and water dragon. Like very light, very bubbly, very like, woo, like don't take your life so seriously. Anyway, the dragons come in to play because they've been on this new world. Sorry, I'm like spitting. That happens when I get really excited. They built the old one. Dragons built every world. Everything in the universe was birthed through the heart womb of a dragon. Dragons have heart wombs, so when I talk about heart womb leadership, which is the name of my company, I'm talking about the ability to love something and create it almost simultaneously. You have that reverence of a mom who's like building a baby in her belly. So, you know, that first trimester, you kind of don't really talk about it so much. You might share with some friends, but you're not like openly announcing it. And then as you get more pregnant, as you get more showing, start talking about it more, and then you still have to give birth to it. You still have to go through that process. A lot of my clients show up to me, they're 80%. They're like in labor, but they're too afraid to push the baby out. That's why I call myself the dragon doula, because I don't tend to go in there and change a whole lot about what's going on in your life. It's kind of, if we go back to the lighthouse analogy, it's kind of like I showed up to your lighthouse and I'm helping you, and we go through and we're going layer by layer, making sure it's cool. And then at the very, you know, what's wrong is that you forgot to plug the bulb in, right? Oh, we need to get a little bit more kerosene in here for your lamp. And that's it. I'm not here to shake your foundation, to tear down everything you've built. Because like Renee said, she's already known for a while that she wants to be in politics. But taking that leap into politics, it's a scary one, especially when you have any self-worth issues, when you're afraid of falling on your ass, if you're afraid of what your clients, your friends, anyone is going to say about you. I was sitting up. What? Hold on. I was sitting up at Fish Lake yesterday and looking in nature, and I think I saw a dragon. Yes. Sorry, Instagram. I didn't mean to put my light in your face. Here we go. Sorry. If you could see what I have going on over here, you would laugh so hard. Say it again. I don't know what you told me to say again. I'm so sorry. Very much the ego speaking with like, yeah. So lifeboat people are very ego-minded. They think that their ego is here to keep you safe. Okay, your ego is here to keep you safe, but your ego is based on the status quo. So if you're constantly checking on whether things you're doing right, again, you're trying to stay relevant. I fucking hate that word, by the way. I was in a training and all she was talking about was staying relevant, and I was like, what people think is relevant right now isn't what's going to actually change their life. That's why, again, lighthouse people, a lot of us have been kind of going like this recently. We've been like, because we've been saying the same thing forever, and now all the people who have been trying to stay relevant are finally saying what we've been saying. And that's a big reason why this whole lifeboat to lighthouse thing came around. To lighthouse thing came around. Because all of a sudden, a whole lot of people were starting to say a whole lot of the things that I had been saying forever, and I had to do a reality check. Good. I'm glad. Okay. Lighthouse people are unconcerned about their intellectual property. I'm going to put that in quotes right now because it's kind of a bullshit thing. Intellectual property doesn't exist because of the fact that universal intelligence is what's feeding most of us, especially on a higher level of consciousness. And you know this because all of a sudden you'll read a post or you'll read something and you think that it's like the most life-changing thing, and then all of a sudden the next 24 hours, like 7 more people that you know say the same thing, or you find 2 more books that are talking about the exact same thing. That's that law of attraction, that you're going to keep getting what you need to learn. But no one is coming up with anything new. Quantum physics already tells us that all potentiality already exists everywhere. We're just not at a frequency that we can see it. So if you're working with someone, this is how you know if you're with a lifeboat person. If they tell you, I'm going to help you with my process, but my process is my intellectual property, and you better not be teaching your clients how to use it. If you are a branding coach and you're teaching your clients how to brand themselves, and they happen to find out that they too are amazing at helping other people with their branding, of course they're going to use your process, because that's how all teachers are supposed to work. If you take on the role as a mentor or a coach, you're teaching someone your process in the hopes that your process helps them and that they can then teach other people. Okay? To try to say this is mine and you don't get to teach anyone, and if you can think of someone, send them my way, that's a savior mentality. My way is the right way. I can save you. It's very much like all religions, even like religions, like very organized religions, have a lifeboat mentality. If you're able to come up, like you guys see Shiva and Durga Ma behind me, but I also have a statue of Thoth. I have a statue of Mother Mary. I've got Green Tara. I have Sekhmet over there. I've got a beautiful statue of Venus in her gorgeous godliness, nakedness is what I'm trying to say. My whole house, if you walk into my house, people come and clean my house and they're like, what are you? And I'm like, spiritual, magical. That's it, because I can see all of the stories. But if you try to bring it back down, the Christian, my way is the right way. The Muslims, my way is the right way. Right? My way is the right way. Again, if you get that feeling that you're dealing with a dictator at any point when working with a coach, if you feel like you are working with a dictator, you need to get the fuck out. Okay? Just get out. If they refer to you as their follower, get the fuck out of there. I'm not any better or worse or higher or lower. I might talk about being above you, but I'm talking about a lighthouse. I'm not saying that once you're here, like you can't just go build another lighthouse. Like you are more than welcome to be a lighthouse 50 miles down the road, teaching the same things I taught you to more people over there. I share my message with people who are in elected office, and I hope that they're teaching their constituents or using what I taught them when they're running. Please. Haven't people seen How to Train Your Dragon? Oh my God. Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragons. Oh man, dragons are everywhere, guys. Netflix has so much stuff right now. There's The Dragon Prince. There's Rescue Riders, which is like Paw Patrol, but with dragons. It's friggin' sweet. All the elements. Yes, the birthing process is true. Change the light bulbs together. The leap is required. Yep, totally. Courage is essential. Courage, yeah. So my group is called Fearlessly Authentic Leaders. We're actually in the process of moving over to the Mighty Network. It's going to be changed to Courageous Leaders, because I realize we all have fear, but it takes a certain type of person to be courageous. So you're totally right with that. You're so funny. I hope that book didn't hurt you. Oh, no, man. I didn't hit myself that hard. Religion, yep, I can get out of the organized religion. For years I wanted this. Now I'm tapping into spirit. Heck yeah. No dictators. We do not like dictators. Sweet. Okay, so purpose. What is your purpose? Let me just make sure that I've done that. Maintain. Yeah, so lighthouses, they need to be maintained and refurbished, right? So we kind of talked about that. Lifeboats. The only time you can ever fix a first of all, lifeboats, they don't tend to fix a lifeboat, right? If something goes wrong with the lifeboat, it tends to break apart when it's being used, and you can't fix it in the middle of the ocean. Like, I know we've all watched Popeye and all that sort of stuff where they're like trying to fill the holes. You can't really do that on a lifeboat. If your boat starts to sink in the middle of the ocean, it's sinking. It's capsizing. If you have too many people, like, I've watched so many programs just completely burn up because they let too many people in. The person running the program didn't check their own boundaries to recognize they were chasing the dollar sign instead of their purpose. Okay, well, I'm going to do this, blah, 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 but I need to create 20 grand, but I don't feel that I'm worthy. So I'm going to let 40 people in at $5,000. And that's how I'm going to create. No, that's 4 people. Math in the morning. Hold on. Please hold. Oh, I need to create $20,000. But instead of letting 4 people in at $5,000 because they know that their message is so amazing and so worthy and they want to give that a bespoke attention to 4 different people, they don't know their worth. They don't know that they are a lighthouse. They don't know that their message is so fucking important that they need to share it even in small doses with the people that are actually going to change the world with it. So instead they let in 20 people at $500 or however it fucking the math works out. So all of a sudden, instead of having 4 people that you can really focus on, they're letting in 20 people and no one's getting results. And instead of helping the people that are asking for it, they're booting you out. Oh, you question me? You're out. Oh, you want to know something? You're out. And yeah, I'm not exaggerating. I actually know a few programs right now where people have reached out to me and been like, I just got booted out of this group. And when I ask why, it's literally, I wanted to know when the marketing part of this marketing class was going to start because we were focusing a whole lot on energetics and I didn't get it. And I was just wondering. And they got booted from a group that was based on marketing for asking when the actual like marketing strategies were going to start coming. Because whoever created that group had a lifeboat mentality. I'm going to pick and choose who comes in, but I still have to get all the way to and I have to save all these people. I got to save all these people. Oh shit, there's people trying to be the captain of my boat. Oh no. That's another part of lifeboats. Like, I know we're all kind of imagining really small lifeboats, but lifeboats can come in all sizes. It could look like a giant ass pirate ship. It could be the Black Pearl for all I care. Lifeboat people are like Captain Barbossa. They don't handle mutinies very well at all. Okay? They're not willing to take the crew back on even after they mutinied against them, like Jack Sparrow is. Jack Sparrow's a lighthouse. Okay, my analogy could just keep going forever. So lighthouses need maintenance though, right? Like I said, for a long time, 2016, I'm sitting there screaming next to the lighthouse. And from 2016 through 2019, I was really, really focused on my own filling in the cracks, fixing, repainting, doing the whitewash, making sure that all the gears worked, making sure that the foundation was really solid, that I didn't need to move my cliff that I was on, right? I've been in a crow much like, yeah, see, exactly. Versus, again, the lifeboats, they're a dime a dozen. They're easy to replace. Manufacturers just like, oh, we need a new lifeboat. We're not going to put this other lifeboat. This lifeboat got used before, so we're just going to throw this lifeboat out. And when we send this boat back out, this ship back out on the ocean, we're going to put brand new lifeboats on. Okay? That's what I mean by the maintenance. If you feel like you're dealing with someone who's a dime a dozen, now honestly, if you took away the picture and the name and you just compared programs, you really wouldn't be able to tell who is who. You're dealing with lifeboat people instead of lighthouse people. We know that, okay, yeah, a lighthouse in Nantucket may look like a lighthouse in Seattle, but you know whether or not you're on the Atlantic or on the Pacific Ocean. Okay? From the outside, it might look the same, but then when you're actually reading in there and really like, you know, oh no, I know this is Karen. Look at how many times they said the word dragon. There's something that makes them stand out above the crowd. There's something about lighthouse people that it doesn't matter if you're listening on the radio and half paying attention, something will be said where you're like, oh, that's that person. Oh, I know exactly who that is. So what are you maintaining in your life? Are you maintaining this belief that you are the savior, that you are here to save people, that you are here to, and a lot of people say that they're not here to save you, okay? I'm going to help you get out of your victim and into your warrior. I'm going to help you learn to stop being a child and stand up to be the sovereign ruler that you really are. But the tactics that they're using to get you into those programs to help you, that is going to be what shows up for you. So they're going to give you that you're either with me or you're against me sort of attitude. Lifeboat people are going to give you that very like, you need to be afraid, you're drowning, oh my God, let me come help you, you need to get on my boat. Do you have your credit card payment ready right now? You're gonna need that right now before you get in my boat though. Oh, you have to fill out this whole application process. Oh, you need to do this, and you need to do this. And I'm not saying that boundaries and applications aren't really necessary for some programs. Like my highest ticket offer, yes, you absolutely have an application and we get on a call. But I don't do that for every single level of working with me because I don't want to be inaccessible to other people. Okay, I don't want to be not available for large amounts of people. Right? I don't need to have followers. I don't even need to have fans. I'm here to speak to all levels. That's why I have literal staircase way to work with me. There is so much free content. I've done hundreds and hundreds of hours of free videos. I have 3 or 4 different freebies that you can get right now if you sign up on my email list. I have podcast interviews that I've done. I've got posts that are like blog length knowledge. Okay, the amount of free content that I put out there is huge so that people, no matter where they are, can have a little taste of that magic. And then there's the next level up, getting into the membership programs, getting into that, where again, the only thing you have to do is pay a $70 fee, and then you have access to all this other stuff. And then it keeps going up and up. You know, my group programs that are a little bit more expensive than my one-on-one and whatever. Yeah, there's different levels. As you go up the lighthouse, you have to walk up a set of stairs to get you want to know the burning fire that I have to be a lighthouse? You got to walk up the staircase to get there. I'm not giving away my magic on how I create fire for free. But I am at least opening the door. I am at least showing you the way. This is where I am. But I'm not coming to you. You get to come to me. You get to make the journey up the hill. You get to open the door of the lighthouse. You get to walk up the stairs. That's true serenity. That's truly giving you a choice instead of making you afraid. If you read something and all you feel at the very end is, oh my God, I better get into this program because if I don't, look at all these things that are going to happen to me. That person is a lifeboat person. If they're sitting there telling you why everything you're doing is wrong, instead of reminding you of all the ways that you are already whole, perfect, and complete just as you are dealing with a lifeboat person and not a lighthouse person. Lighthouses, we see you where you are. We know exactly what you've been through. Even if we haven't personally been there, we can empathize with it. but we're not going to come to you. You have to have the courage to come to us. You have to trust that that lighthouse isn't going to lead you to crash into the rocks. Okay? There is a huge level of trust that is almost like innately required when you come in contact with a lighthouse person. I have to believe and trust that they have my best intentions at heart, and this isn't about their boat being the best boat. They want me to get to shore. They want me to get there safely. They want me to be able to go build a house and start my own business and all of that in this new world that we're creating here. Okay, because remember, all of this has to do with the fact that I want great mayors. I want great city councils. I want school boards filled with actual educators. I want the whole government system is literally collapsing around us, but there's going to be pieces that can still be picked up and used. There's still going to be great materials that we can use to build this new world, to build this new government that's of a global scale. The UN has no power. The WHO has no power. Think about how much different everything that's going on in the world would have been if we would have had a globe-wide council to talk to, instead of leaving it up to all these individual countries and the egos of all these individual lifeboats. Because nationalism and isolationism is the basis of lifeboat people. I'm isolated. I'm by myself. Lighthouse, I know that I'm not by myself. I might be the first thing you see, but there's a whole town behind me. There's a whole village. There's a whole city. When you come up to Nantucket and you see the lighthouse, guess what? You pull into a harbor. You get off the dock and you're walking into Nantucket. You're going straight into a village. So yeah, there might be one person that welcomes you in, one person that's at the front, but they have this whole community, like, that's going to help you and support you. When you come into a new town, those people aren't going to question, who are you? What are you doing here? Are you here to help us or hurt us? They're going to openly welcome you into their space and help you to create that life that you're looking for. Public service is about serving the public, right? Not yourself. Okay? We're all grown adults. We all have discernment, okay? You have the capacity to figure out what is your purpose. And if you know what your purpose is, it's a whole lot easier to, you almost get like x-ray vision. And you can like scan through posts and scan through talking to people and scan through all of this. And you're like, oh, actually, I can see right through your bullshit. You don't have any idea what you stand for, okay? So what your purpose is also like, what do you stand for? I stand for peace. I stand for unity. I stand for love. I stand for respect. I stand for a global community. I stand for us to be citizens of this globe with no borders. I stand for free trade. I stand for the end of crony capitalism. I stand for an ability for you to no longer be taxed. Taxation is straight up theft if it comes to income tax. I know what I stand for because I have constantly throughout my life questioned my knowing over and over and over again. Because what I learned when I was a kid is not what I know now. I know who I am. I know what I am, and I know how I serve. And there are only a few people on this planet right now that I've personally come in contact with, Carolyn Elliott being one of them, since we've talked about her book several times today already. There's a whole lot of other mentors that I myself have followed who I, in hindsight, now see as lifeboat people. Lifeboat people are also very much cave people, as in like you have to come into their, they don't tend to speak out loud, right? Like they're back here. When you need me, you can come and find me, but I'm going to be locked back in this cave. Instead of when you need me, come and find me, I'm right here on this cliff, shining as bright as I can so that you can see me. Okay, so if that helps you, like, understand that. Lighthouse people have no judgment on your journey. We will hear you, see you, feel you in every respect that you need with absolutely no judgment. lifeboat people, you're going to get off the call and you're going to be like, I feel so judged right now. I feel like everything I've ever done is wrong. I'm such a horrible person. I'm so stupid. You know, you're going to feel like you're just an idiot because you haven't found them before. Instead of a relief of, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I found you now. Right? You're going to feel, if you deal with a lifeboat person, they're literally just, they crush you. They make you recognize how much you're drowning. Okay? You get on a sales call with this person, and by the end of it, you're like, here's my credit card. Holy shit, help me, save me, save me, save me. Versus when people hand me their credit card number, it's because I've liberated them. We've gotten off of a 30-minute call, and all of a sudden their life just makes so much sense that they want to know how they move forward instead of having to focus on their past. It's the other reason why I get accused of spiritual bypassing so much, because I actually do things very simple and very fast in a way that other coaches don't understand. So they'd rather label me. They'd rather put out there that I'm a shadow magician, or that I'm a spiritual bypasser, that I have no integrity. But they don't know who I am. They don't understand me. That's fine. I don't judge them. The thing about knowing who you are is that you also know who other people are. So I can flip that sentence around and say, I know who you are. I know what you are. And I know how you serve. Thank you for serving me by being a reflection of the pieces of me that I still need to work on. Okay? Because we do live in a multi-dimensional fractal universe. If someone is throwing shade at you, then there's pieces of you that you used to work on. But that's your own maintenance. You know that that's about your inner work and not about, if someone tells you you need to work on your shadow, I would listen more to what they're saying so that you know which shadow of your own you should be working on. Oh, you're being a shadow magician. You need to work on your shadow. You need to get a mentor that's going to kick your ass. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so when I read the message, what I'm hearing is that there's still pieces of me that don't believe that I'm in integrity when I'm doing things. Okay, thank you for reflecting that to me. Thank you for serving me by giving me this message. Instead of allowing myself to feel, oh my God, is he right? Oh my goodness, do I have to? Oh my God, I must be, I gotta go fix this hole. I gotta go do this. Oh my goodness, maybe I have to sign up with him. Maybe I need to sign up with her. Maybe I need to do this. No, pause, breathe. How are you handling the blame? So I already told you the two top, what is your purpose? What are you maintaining? The third thing is, how are you handling blame, shame, negativity? Okay? We are aligned. You talk. Yes, I talked the first maybe a couple times before I even have them work with me. Yep. Know thyself. Hey, Julie. So that blame, okay? Let's go on that blame for a second. I don't know if I need those anymore. I'm sure that over the course of many centuries of lighthouses existing, that a lighthouse has been blamed for the fact that a ship crashed along the shores. It usually happens, like I love to think about Pete's Dragon. Remember in Pete's Dragon when they're trying to like light the kerosene again and it's too wet because the storm is so bad, it keeps like getting blown out, and the dragon is just like, Elliot is trying to blow the fire, but he like can't do it. That's that maintenance that we were talking about. If you're being blamed for something going on in someone else's light, that's where you get to check your own maintenance. Okay, was I showing up? Was I doing my part? Was my lighthouse turned on? Was my fire lit? Was I doing everything? And if you can run that through your own body, and there's nothing that you feel like you could have done better for that person, I'm sorry that you captained your ship poorly. I was here. I was shining. I was doing all of the things that I needed for you. but you weren't doing the homework that you were given. You weren't having those hard conversations that you needed to have. You weren't showing up the way that in our calls you said you were going to show up. So I'm sorry that you lost your race, but let's look through and look at all the things that you did or did not do, right? So you're able to take that blame of someone saying that it's your fault that they failed. And maybe it is. And if it is, then you have the integrity. You know what? You're right. I did not show up for you the way that you needed me. I'm going to add an extra month of coaching. I'm going to refund you the last month. Whatever it is that feels good to you, okay? I don't have clients like that. I'm going to just be honest. I know a lot of people that do. For the most part, those coaches are also the coaches that I was talking about when I was talking about lifeboats. So how do lifeboat people handle blame? You could have just jumped off. You could have found another coach. I didn't make you do anything. Okay. I gave you all the steps. It's not my fault you didn't follow them. I gave you like the attitude of blame is that they are going to they're going to play the I am rubber and you are glue and everything that you say to me bounces off of me and sticks back to you. Instead of realizing like I am so solid in my purpose. And if for some reason you blame me for the failings that have occurred in your life, there's nothing I can do to change your feelings. But there is something I can do about my feelings, and that is to know in my soul, in my heart, in every single part of me that I did everything. I showed up every week for you. I showed up and gave you all of the knowledge that I had to help you succeed in winning your election. If you didn't follow those steps, I am sorry, but that's on you. Do you hear the difference? It's not my fault. You're a sovereign being. You made that choice. There's a huge difference in the vibration of dealing with someone who is a lifeboat. Again, lifeboats have their messages keep changing. Oh, you don't really need me right now. We're safe. You're good. You're on the Titanic. Everything's good. Oh, shit, you need me. You need me right now. Oh, but only women and children. Or if you have a lot of money and you're a guy, you can get on my boat. Oh no, there's too many people on this boat. Stop rocking the boat. Everyone, you need to sit down and shh and do exactly as I'm told, or you're told. I am the captain of this boat. You will do exactly as I say. Very dictatory. You sit down, you shut up, you do as you're told. You do my way. It's my way or the highway. You don't take my property. You don't take anything that I teach you and teach it to anybody else without giving me a payment for it. They blend in. You really can't tell the difference between this lifeboat and that lifeboat and this lifeboat. Really, you'll get on any lifeboat now at this point because you're already drowning. You feel like you're drowning. And you might be drowning. You might find a lighthouse and you're in the middle of drowning, but guess what? I can't get off of my cliff to come to you. I have to stay solid and I have to just keep being so bright that you recognize, wait a second, I'm a fucking magician. I don't need hold on. And you make yourself a boat. And it's your own boat that you're steering. And you're like, you know what? All those lifeboats over there being coached by all those people, they're swimming in circles. They're just going back to the old land. I have no interest in going back to the old land. The old land sucked. I'm going to take my one-person little canoe, and I'm going to follow that lighthouse around the rocks, and I'm going to pull into harbor. And you might even pull into harbor straight up like Jack Sparrow in the beginning scenes of Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, which is the best one, where he's at the very top of the sail and he like, the whole boat sinks as he steps. Like, oh, it's 6 shillings to... You know, oh, how about 5 shillings when we skip the name, right? That's fine. If you arrive in the town and your boat has completely sunk by the time you got there, fine. All of the things that you used to know about your life has completely faded away, but that lighthouse got you here. Okay, that's the difference between a lighthouse coach and a lifeboat coach. So I'm gonna let Instagram, I love you guys, I'm gonna let you go because you're gonna drop off anyway. And Facebook, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Pull in the harbor, stay a while, right? And we're building some really cool things over here, guys. We really are. I don't know what's happening with my live on Instagram. I'm trying to end it. There it is. Yeah, we are there, and there's a lot of us. Okay, I'm not trying to say this whole live stream is listen to me, come by for me. This is about discernment. Okay, this is about you understanding that there are so many of us that you might have previously kind of rolled your eyes at. I've had a lot of people in the last few years come to me and look me in the face. Do you really think that government is where change comes from? Do you honestly think that being a politician is the best way that you can serve? Do you really think that those of us who do tero and are light workers and want to have anything to do with that shady corporation that's known as the government? Do you truly think that being the governor is going to really help my town? No. The way I'm going to help my town is by becoming a multi-billionaire. And then when you ask them how that's going, they're still living in their parents' apartment, sublease or whatever, their basement. They can't keep more than $200 in their bank account at any given moment. They're constantly themselves jumping from lifeboat to lifeboat to lifeboat, kind of floating around for themselves for a little while, and then they need to find a new lifeboat. They're not willing to make a commitment. There's a reason why working with me, if you're trying to get elected in 2021, I'm taking applications until June of this year, and then that's it. Because I need 6 months to get you to be guaranteed to win your campaign, if not longer. Because it takes that long to really get into the bones, to get into the meat of being a politician in this new age. Okay, this is a new golden age of miracles based on magic, based on mysticism, based on shamanism. More than anything, we need leaders and healers and empaths and light workers and tarot readers and shamans and oracles and mystics. Those are the people we need in government right now. Because I'm sorry, guys, government is never going to go away. It's going to change, yes. Everyone freaking out about the Fed merging with the Treasury. The United States has had 5 central banks. We've had a central bank 5 different times. The last one just lasted the longest, 107 years. But the Federal Reserve wasn't created until 1913, the same year the income tax was created. So like basic history lessons. But there's some of my clients where we spend the first 2 months learning basic American history because they were never taught it. Learning the basics of the civic system, really understanding how it works. And through knowing that is how they realize, you know what, I'm not going to run for governor. I'm just going to run for mayor. You know what, I just want to be a city council. I can affect the most change because we really look at all the different layers of government. And I've learned about governments in other countries too. It's so fascinating the way that, there's only, if you weren't born into a certain house, you can only run for up to a certain level of government in some country. Like, I'm such a nerd about this stuff. But I do know that Americans' Constitution is what most constitutions are based off of around the world nowadays. And I'm so blessed to have the knowledge that I do, because it's something that I've loved since I was a little kid. And I get to share that with everybody else. I get to share with them, you know what, you don't want to be city councilman, that's fine. But let's make sure that you are backing the city councilman that you want to, right? You have lobbyists in Congress right now that you look at them and you're like, that is not what you promised. And then you find out, oh, you're in the back pocket of Bear. Makes way more sense because they're being bought out. Okay, you want to be a multi-billionaire? You think that's the best way to do it? You're still going to need a politician to talk to. I'm sorry, if you don't think that government is important, then you do not understand how laws work. Warren Buffett doesn't write the law. Jeff Bezos isn't sitting in the Senate raising his hand, yay or nay. But they do know which one of those senators are going to vote and how it's going to go for them. You still need a basic understanding of government to exist in this day and age, especially when the government is collapsing, especially when we have this opportunity to grow a new way of living. Humans require connection. We are not isolated beings. We do not do well in isolation. We are social creatures that tell stories. And there has never, ever, ever been a human society that didn't have some sort of checks and balances, some sort of higher council that made decisions when someone impeded on your life, on your liberty, on your pursuit of happiness, or as Adam Smith says, your pursuit of property. There was always a high council. There was always a tribal leader. There was always someone who decided whether you stayed in the tribe or whether you had to go out in the wilderness and get eaten by a wildebeest. So yeah, government is relevant. Yeah, politics are relevant. Yeah, a witchy, spiritual, two-time business owner, stay-at-home homeschooling mom of 3 can and will be the president. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be president of the United States. I might just be a leader of the free world. But as of right now, leader of the free world equals me replacing Donald J. Trump. And if in the next 4 years that changes, great. Love it. I will be here. I will be a lighthouse standing, continuing to say what I've been saying since I stood in the Ron Paul rally in 2012. We are here to change the world for the betterment of every single being. Equality doesn't end until every human, man, woman, and child, has access to clean food, clean water, medical attention, education, all the things that we know in our hearts to be true. All of my clients running for elected office are building their campaigns on those values, and we will not waver. And we can receive hate mail, and we can receive death threats, and we can have blows to our business, and we can have 15 people leave a group all at once because one lifeboat said that they could do better. And we will love them, we will bless them, we will know exactly who they are and how they are serving. But we will never, ever come down to their level and try to save them. Because lighthouses only have one purpose, and that is to guide you to take your own little boat to shore, not to try to get you there on our own. For the internet, yes, seriously, thank God for the internet. Yeah, we need new ways, not learning from history. Stay strong, trust yourself. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Marianne Williamson is the perfect example of the lighthouse. Yeah, exactly. I love Marianne Williamson. I seriously would have voted. I am not a Democrat at all, but I totally would have voted for Marianne Williamson. Just more people like that, right? The fact that she even ran. I love you too, Shelby. Thank you. That's it. That's all I have for you guys today. If you feel like you're ready to step up and join me, I do have the group Fearlessly Authentic Leaders. It's a $69 investment. It's honestly where I'm putting so many of the people that are wanting to kind of get a taste of what it's like to work with me. We have weekly live trainings. There was a badass 5-day masterclass that we did earlier. I am slowly moving over to the Mighty Network. I'm working on, I want to make this transition as smooth as possible for you guys. So let me know if you want in on that. You can send me a message. If you want to get into Fearlessly Authentic Leaders, I'll leave the link here. There's also a really exclusive way to work with me one-on-one if you're inside that group, but there's also other ways to work with me one-on-one if you are seriously contemplating running for an elected position in 2021. Please reach out. I would love to help you with that. If you are looking to learn about dragons, magic, how to connect to your own inner dragon, how to do the dream marketing, how to do any of the things that you've heard me talk about today, just send me a DM. I'm literally a Facebook message away. I love you. Thank you so much for being here and taking time to be here. Until next week, this is Sunday Morning Coffee with Karen. We'll see y'all later.